Hi, this is Becky Gromlich with the Watercolor Classroom. This painting I put aside because I hated it about 7 years ago. I don't remember what colors I used, and I certainly don't even remember what brand I was using at that time, although probably it was mostly M. Graham. And I want to match my colors, so let's see what we can do. I'm going to start with Pyro Red because I have used that for many years as my main red. And I am going to use this little scrap paper and just to get a feel of what this paint color is. And see, clearly there's more orange in it, more yellow. And so I'm going to get some Scarlet Pyro and mix it with it. Or first I think I'll check that out by itself too. Okay, that's closer to some of these. I mixed it with some Payne's Gray, so I'll try that. And that looks a little bit more like my darks in these petals. It is. So this color, this should be more over here. Should be a little bit darker, which to check, and it gives you more depth when you have your colors right, when you have your darks dark and your lights light. So get that fuzzy out of the way. So I'm going to come out here, and then it fades into a redder color. And since orange or redder, since I already have that there, I've just wet my brush and dried it, rinsed my brush and dried it, and I'm just going along that edge to soften it. Okay, now we're starting to get some of that color back. So, now this part has different streaks of red in it, and they are part of what makes the shadows and bends and folds. And so we're going to put some in. And I'm going to dry my brush, put some more of this orange in here, and go around those spots, let them run into this orangey color, which I keep having to make more of. That's still very wet there, so I'm going to go over to these other parts. Let them run into it. And if it dries a little bit and holds its spot a little bit better, that's fine, even if it has a sharper edge. Now I'm getting into more of the red orange, but still a darker color than the petal above it, or the lighter part above it. Anyway, I think it's the same petal. Now we're going to move to another area so that can dry. This little piece here, it just has some like wrinkles looking things in it, so I'm going to put the wrinkles in and then just go right over it right away with the lighter color. Right here, and finish that. That's an edge of a shadow, so it is a fairly sharp edge, even though it's not a different petal. And we want it to be dark enough so that you can tell it's behind the other petal. Sharp line there. Like I said, that pyrrole is quite brilliant. I just need to water it down a little bit at this point so that it's not as bright. And the paint that I had on there is not totally dry, just almost, but it allows it to blend a little bit so that all those edges aren't quite so sharp, and yet they're sharp enough to look like a shadow. Yeah, I'm back to finding my place again. This happens with these paintings. If the drawing had been a little bit more complex, all right, and here is a little fold, which I don't, that shows anyway. Okay, now we're going to get into this, just putting this in between, filling in the rest, trying not to lose all the red that I put in there, but wanting it to blend together a little bit. Don't want it to be that great of a contrast, so I'm going to pull it back a little bit. But okay. Now there's a couple places where the glow really got lost, mostly before. But overall, it looks like a poppy, and it doesn't have all of the depth of that photo, but I'm going to try to help it with the background.